It gave me the option of leaving. Let's call the meeting to order. Does someone need to second that?
I don't think,
No,
no.
Okay. All right. So I do not have my agenda in front of me.
so,
The 6 o'clock meetings are pretty hard.
so the first item is the approval of the minutes, but of September 14th, but given the fact you don't have a quorum, I don't think that you can approve the minutes. So we'll have to table that for another meeting.
Okay.
Old business, updates on outreach opportunities, sort of the general topic.
Is that time for me to say my thing now?
Yeah, you're actually item D, but since you have to leave, Karen, can she
Of course.
go ahead?
Sure.
Okay, I have an appointment with Jim Mercurio on Friday to talk about putting a session together on faith communities and also using his Zoom equipment in his church.
Wait, that's my next door neighbor.
Yeah, well, he's really wonderful and
He's a
fascinating.
nice guy. Yeah, we
Yeah,
live
he's a great
in the
guy.
White House right behind the church.
Okay, so anyway, he and I are going to talk on Friday, and I'm going to get some commitments or lack thereof from him, but he seemed pretty enthusiastic.
Yeah.
So I've got the growing up white thing. I'm going to get the faith communities thing. I'm going to get a thing. I've got Becky and Amy working on the whatever they call the Pride Club in the middle school to put together some kind of presentation for being an adolescent in Mansfield. And then I want to round up a couple of parents and talk about family life in Mansfield and raising kids. And then we got room for one more subject, which is going to be people with disabilities. And I have nobody for that, but I have some leads. So that's where I am right now. I'm kind of moving along, but this is more ambiguous than I'm used to coping with, and it's beginning to scare me. The end.
But I mean, do you have to do it all in a short period of time? Can't you do one, take a month off, do another one, and give yourself some time to prepare?
Well, that's a really nice thought. No, I figured I'd have to do it all at once and be fantastic or be humiliated, but this is a much better approach.
Yeah, I mean, and that way you can build momentum and kind of learn
Yeah.
from each presentation to see, if you should do things differently or if, the format really works.
Yeah, that's great, Karen. Thank you very much. I will now take a deep breath and stop worrying for the moment.
Good.
And I've got one guy working on grant money to pay the woman who's going to do Growing Up White, but I haven't heard from him lately. I can't bring my committee together because there's no time when they can all meet. So I've just taken to talking to people individually. But there's action going on, and I feel I have a lot of confidence in Jim because he was very enthusiastic about what we're going to do. So we're going to have a session on faith communities, and it's going to include Muslims, Jews, and Christians at the very least. So that's exciting.
That's great. And that's going to be at the church?
No, it's all going to be on Zoom,
Oh, okay.
but we're going to use his equipment and his
Nice.
Zoom
Yeah,
license.
they do Sunday morning services in my backyard. So I guess
and they do Zoom Sunday morning services, and that's why
I know, I hear them 10 o'clock.
Yeah, no, he was wonderful. I had a great conversation with him. I'm glad I had a chance to meet him.
He has an autistic son. He might have an idea on.
Okay, good to know. And I've got
mean-
Carlita Cotton's husband has something that he is mobility impaired, and he also helped write the Americans with Disabilities Act. So I got him on my
Oh, wow.
radar. I'm going to get him in to do the intro, and then I have the lady who's the special services lady for the Mansfield Public School. So I've got the
Shamim.
connection. Pardon me?
Shamim.
Jameen, I keep forgetting. I don't even remember her last name, but anyway, she was very enthusiastic as well as was
she's
Kevin. So
great.
I think we're going to find the people. I just have a greater need for some commitments, but apparently nobody else does. So Shamim Patwa. I remember Patwa, but I couldn't remember Shamim. Thank you.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm moving along on all fronts, and it's kind of a raggedy thing and not what I'm used to, but I think it's going to work.
Yeah, just take a deep breath. I mean, you want to enjoy it as much as you want it to be positive. So you may as well.
Karen, you have become my official life coach.
Happy to help.
Thank you very much. Okay, that's my report. Now I have to go help with the other family stuff.
Oh, all right. Good to
Okay,
see you.
thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Talk about a whirlwind. I love her.
But that sounds like a great program.
Yeah, I think it does too. And I think, I really do think, if you take a break between each of the presentations and regroup and see what worked and what didn't work, it'll be even more successful. Especially if she's stressed out about it, because that's not going to help anybody.
There is a benefit to doing one, like every 2 weeks, so that you really do feel like it's got, some there, right? Like that it is a program and there is continuity. But yeah, you can do what you can do. So I think,
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I can see both. I mean, but it could also be, spread. There may be new ideas that we haven't even thought of coming up. So,
the next item on the agenda, and maybe we'll wait for the MLK Mural project update for Glenn, although I do know what's happening with that, but maybe if he does join us in a couple minutes. On the Indigenous Peoples website, so the royal I did get that up for Indigenous Peoples Day.
great.
The books are not yet listed. I need to go back. It was a long list for sort of a running website, and I was trying to come up with a way to present the books differently. I'm really still learning how to work with our website in order, not so much to get content up there, but to make it look good. So it is still a work in progress, but I will add the credits to Felicia and Derek for all the research.
Great.
And I did, in creating it, I featured the Historical Society at the top because they had done that nice web page specifically about Mansfield's Indigenous peoples. So I tended to kind of focus on them at the top. And some of my links didn't work. So that's the other reason I need to go back and play with it some more. For some reason, vetting some
Are
of
you
those
using
links.
WordPress or are you using a different?
No,
format?
it's the website of our, that our town and our schools use. And
Okay.
most of them worked when I embedded the links. Some of them were just very stubborn and I ran out of patience. So I need to go back and try to re-engage. The URLs are all listed. They're just not all active links. So if somebody really wanted to, they could copy and paste the URL.
Okay.
But I need to do some more work on it, get some more images up there. But it really did occur to me in creating it that this is really just the baseline, and now we can update it. And it'll be a permanent page on the Human Rights Commission webpage so that we can just enhance it and do more with it. The other piece of information that I may have shared with you all the last time is that the Historical Society has plans for a Zoom meeting with the state archaeologist.
Oh, yeah. You mentioned that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so they do have now a save the date page on their website that they've asked us to link to the Indigenous Peoples web page, and we'll do a lot of promotion about it because she's going to be talking specifically about archaeological findings in Mansfield. So
when is that?
December the 3rd, and it's a Zoom meeting in the evening. I don't remember offhand if it was 6:30 or 7, but I think it would be a wonderful thing for us to help them promote. And then the other conversation I had, we are going to, is with Kelly Lyman. When we do the next staff newsletter, we will be sure to market the Indigenous Peoples Day webpage to the Mansfield Public Schools staff. Because again, now that it's there, it's a great jumping off point for teachers who might be looking to do Indigenous Peoples Day, Thanksgiving, any time of the year projects around Native peoples. And now we've got a place for kids to start,
That's
and
great.
especially with the books and all. So that's another good incentive for me to work on it and make it look better than it does, at least to start. But again, thank you, Felicia. And we have something there, and we'll just work on trying to make it better as time allows.
That sounds good. I can't hear you.
Going back to the first item, updates on outreach opportunities. I was thinking about I guess as a group, we need to decide if we thought that the Celebrate Mansfield event was positive, and kind of debrief on what might we do again, what might we do differently? Would we do it again? So I'm sorry that Jane and Barbara aren't here for that conversation, and maybe we should save it for when we have a more robust group.
I think we were pretty much in agreement, and I'd say it was neutral. And I think we should do it again, but I think it needs to be even more interactive. Maybe geared towards smaller children, or I mean, I think we had a decent amount of foot traffic. But we didn't, I mean, as much as we had stuff, I don't know if it was eye-catching. I think the map worked a little bit, but I mean, even if it had been, now that I think about it, my son, and we would have needed electricity, but my son has this globe game that I'm sure is still in the basement, where you plug it in and you have to find certain countries, or, something. I don't know if that's the thing, but I think to capture people's attention, from what I could tell, you need to have more bells and whistles. I mean, we could have done a trivia game or something like that.
Well, I think it's worth thinking about as we plan for next year's, would we have a little bit more time? I do think that if there is space, I'm going to try to add the map. You saw where I'd hung up the International Human Rights poster, and I was thinking if we could post the poster up there with it, or excuse me, the map with more sticky notes, it would be interesting to see if people kind of continued to add to it, right?
Yeah.
People visiting town hall, and there may be a way to use it in a compelling fashion and just keep building on it, since we have it. So I'd like to find a little bit of bulletin board real estate to do that, and then put up the Human Rights Commission banner, and just to try to have some presence there.
Yeah, I like that idea. I mean, with a little note saying, please make sure you add, you contribute, because it'll only take a minute.
Yep.
And then it could be a different clientele than you get at a town event like that too.
Yeah, it's even something we could even take for when they do the mural unveiling, and it just seems like it could be part of the Human Rights Commission's thing for a while, whenever we table anywhere, to include it and to take those elements now that we have them. So
that seems like a good idea.
So let me just provide a quick update to you on the MLK Mural project.
Sure.
So they, I think we're pleased with the 40+ people who came out for the community paint day on the Monday of Indigenous Peoples Day. And, 40 were listed, plus there were additional children and family members, I think. So,
That's awesome.
and then on Wednesday of that same week, Matt Conway sent us some nice photos of participants at UConn working and painting and working with Amita on the mural. My understanding is that we're about $900 away from our community fundraising goal. So that's good progress over the last couple of weeks. Greg Haddad, Representative Greg Haddad, included it in his outreach newsletter to all his constituents. And we definitely saw a bump as a result of that. So, if you think about it, if 1,000 people gave $1, we would be there, right?
Yeah.
So the next step is Friday, there's a meeting of the mural committee, because the original plan was to try to do the unveiling the night before elections. So that would be a week from Monday, November 1st. I think that the committee will meet on Friday and I guess check in with Amita to decide whether that's possible. Can she get the mural finished? Can the mural get mounted on the panels? Can the panels get mounted on the community center in time to hit that date? From my perspective, I'm a little concerned that, in order for us to do a nice unveiling with a program, with speakers, with press, with music, that, 12 days from now till then is a narrow time frame.
Yeah.
So I think that will all be discussed and a decision will be made on Friday, whether it's a go or a no-go for November 1st. And if it's a no-go, what is the next date? But the mural progressed at amazing speed, starting like the middle of September. I mean, or early September, they really made things happen. So that's what I know about that. We did have a couple of significant, $500 donors, Core Mansfield being one of them, People's Bank, some families, a significant number of $100 donations. So like I said, we're close to crossing the finish line. I hope. We just have to push it over the line. So that's the mural project, but it looks as though we are definitely on track to have it up before the MLK's birthday in January, which was the goal.
Awesome. It's really great. So do we think Glenn is coming? Is he coming? Does he have to go from Yukon to home, or I don't remember what he said.
He wasn't explicit. He just said he was in a film viewing until 6:30 and would jump on as soon after as he could, but I don't know if he was doing that in his
I
office.
think he was on Zoom because I know my mom's also on it because she had to run home from the meeting to get me. But I don't know if they're done yet because she hasn't come up. So, but I think it was on Zoom. So the only thing we haven't touched on, survey results, outreach, and International Human Rights Day, and what, as a committee, what we should be doing with that in December.
Yeah, that's when we kind of kicked off our committee last year.
Correct.
The whole year. Yeah, or I mean plus, but yeah, and then we don't meet again until November, so cuts it a little close. Hmm. Did we talk about here that Kelly Lyman is retiring? Did I hear that?
Yes, has announced that she is leaving public school life as of the end of June.
Okay. A good year to get out of education, I think. We had a teacher resign yesterday.
Yeah,
It
one
was-
of my math teacher from the past 2 years resigned like 2 weeks ago.
Who was that?
Miss Aiken, but she just got divorced, so I don't, she's a different last name. That's also a problem.
It's a hard time. I've watched young teachers especially just haven't gotten the support that they maybe have in the past because everybody's so stressed and there's so many vacancies and it's really difficult.
Also, Margaret, can you send me the recording after the meeting? Because I have missed some of the things that have been said that I need to be written down.
I believe, Felicia, that it will be posted on the link that's on the agenda so that anybody can actually watch the recording.
Okay.
So you can watch it from there and file your minutes.
Can you see how many people actually watch it? I remember back in the old days and in our other place of employment that was often people the next day would go back and watch, but I wasn't sure if you could see how many people were watching.
Yeah, all of these get posted on YouTube now. That's where we're posting all of these. So
Oh, so you can see.
I
Yeah.
would think that you would have data on how many people view meeting minutes, after the fact. So.
Well, I think that it may be time to adjourn. As soon as we adjourn, he'll show up, but
Well, do you have Glenn's cell phone,
I
Karen?
have Mia's, I don't have his.
Okay, I will text him and let him know that we had a small turnout and that we are done.
Okay. All right, and yeah, we probably should talk about adding somebody either from the main group to this committee or adding someone in general to the group. So that would help. All right, nice to see you guys. Have a good night.
Thanks for your time.
Bye-bye. Oh, we're adjourned.